You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Ryan Tejas is here.
Hola.
If you don't know Ryan, you haven't listened to the show. And I hope you do listen to the show.
Or maybe they just skip through all the parts that I talk.
Maybe. You know, people like to skip through stuff.
This is a very complex method of avoidance.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't recommend it.
You still going to therapy?
Uh-huh.
Still enjoying it?
Uh-huh.
Still helping you?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, man, I've still been having the anxiety and the exhaustion and stuff. And you know, I think at times it's getting a little better, but I'm still, you know, optimistic and still trying to figure it out. That's all you can do. So if you're struggling with anxiety, you know, get help. There's always help out there, you know. Be good to yourself first and foremost. I mean, know that people deal with it. You're not alone. That's for sure. Also, thanks for listening to the podcast. Thank you for making our podcast, you know, your podcast for the week. You know, this is a guy, a very funny comedian, actor, Adamray. And if you don't know him, that's fine. But you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn something about people that you don't know. So I really appreciate those that don't look at and say, Adamray, I don't know Adamray, so I'm not going to listen. Or so-and-so, I'm not going to listen. I really appreciate you guys listening and supporting each podcast, and it means a lot. If you want to follow us on social, that's at Inside You Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. No, Facebook, Instagram and Facebook, and at Inside You Pod on the Twitter. If you want to join Patreon and support the podcast, we need you more than ever. Go to patreon.com/insideofyou and become a patron. Support the podcast. I'll message you as soon as I can, thanking you. It's really me. I do send these messages. And there's all different top tiers. Some of the top tiers, all the top tiers get their names shouted out at the end of every episode. So I just really appreciate you guys for listening. And there's so many podcasts, and, you know, that's all I'll say about that. You know, I've been to a lot of cons. I want to thank everybody for seeing me in Raleigh and in Boston and in Australia and Illinois. It was a lot. It was, you know, it was very exhausting, but it was awesome to see so many people doing the Smallville Nights and seeing patrons and getting to meet some patrons that I hadn't met before. And I just really appreciate it. And that's all I'll say about that. Also, if you want to go to the Inside of You online store, we've got tons of stuff like Smallville Lexmas scripts signed by me, Inside You glasses and mugs and tumblers and other autographed pictures from me, lunch boxes, Smallville lunch boxes. Go to the Inside You online store, get you something nice, get yourself something nice. And also, the album, Sunspin, my band, Sunspin, our new album's coming out soon. So keep going on sunspin.com to check out when it's available. You can see a bunch of merch there, and you can book us for a Zoom. You can book us for a show. Sunspin.com. Without further ado, this is a very funny man. I had a good time interviewing him. He had a lot of, he's very animated, impressions, a cool story. And he was a delight to have on the episode. A good energy. I think you're going to really enjoy this one. Let's get inside of Adamray. It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum was not recorded in front of a live studio audience.
You can't say that anymore.
What's a pillow biter?
Nice. Pillow biter is someone.
What is that, actually?
A pillow biter is someone who, it's not a term they use for like bratty kids or like slutty kids.
I thought it was like, you know, you bite the pillow because you're having some.
I think somebody, did you ever see the movie Kids, by the way?
Oh, it made me throw up. Go put those heads on, those cans. Put those heads on. Kids was a movie that.
Before Euphoria.
It was startling. It was startling. I remember he had AIDS and he was like kind of
in a wheelchair
on, and like I don't even. Yeah,
I Have No Legs was a song I think that someone sang who didn't have legs.
Really?
Yeah,
in the movie,
it was a musical. It wasn't, but there was a kid that sang a song in a wheelchair about not having legs at a party, at a house party.
I don't remember that.
I remember when someone showed that to me. I think it was 6th or 7th grade, and I'm growing up in Lake Forest Park, Washington, baby. I work at the local Albertsons. I've got, you know, the girl in the service deli is trying to, you know, give me hand jobs in exchange for, you know, credibility.
Wait.
Because she's 26, I'm 17.
She offered you hand jobs for credibility.
Well, no, I say that. What I mean by that is I was younger at the grocery store.
Right.
She was older. I think she dug the idea of being with a younger dude. And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
You hadn't had sex by that point. How old were you?
17.
17. Yeah, I didn't have sex till I was like 18 years old.
That was about, I think 19 with my
Not by choice.
high school girlfriend.
Not by choice.
Really?
Well, yeah, I think you want to have sex.
Charismatic fella.
Yeah, but I was the shortest kid in my high school. I was nerdy.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen,
I know.
Short. I knew, actually.
You weren't short.
No, I take that back. Well, there was a kid named Bub Bergstrom. I'll say his full name. He is a great dude. He used to wear overalls with no shirt and crush the woman sexual game.
Woman.
Sorry, it's early. He would crush the woman. I was trying to think. I don't want to say crush pussy. He would crush the sex game, the game of sex. He would play it a
game
lot.
that I didn't know much about.
Now, was it truly only just your call, or do you think like there were other factors other than being short and nerdy?
I don't think I started puberty till late, so I had no hair on the genitalia.
Girls want that.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
But they want to know you can get it.
Do you know I've talked about this, Ryan? You know I've talked about this, but like we'd play sometimes. What is it called? Shirts and skins. And if I was a skin, I'd say I'll take the 0. I can't play. And
yeah.
Like, what do you mean? And I remember Mike Curry. I've talked about this. Mike Curry had the hairiest armpits, and I was so jealous. I used to pray for armpit hair. And he's like, Rosenbaum, why don't you have armpit hair? You're 16 years old. And I'm like, I'm a swimmer. And he's like, what? I'm like, it's aerodynamics. I knew I was smart enough to know about swimmers. So I used that, but I wasn't really.
That's a great excuse.
It was. I didn't have any hair.
Armpit hair.
You were hairy. I envied you.
Yeah, I started shaving, I think, in 6th grade summer. I was in Arizona with my dad and stepmom, and he brought in a razor, and he's like, I think you're going to need this. And I was like, oh, now you want to be in my life? Joking. By the way, that's an incredible Indiana Jones statue.
You like the Indiana Jones statue?
It's unbelievable.
This is a magnet. Like it's kind of heavy. It's like what do you call this? The
baby
Buddha.
Wasn't it the baby Buddha from Major League? Joe Boo?
No, I don't know what that is. It's just, but anyway, it's what Indiana Jones gets.
Am I sitting where Mark Paul Gosselaar sat? Or did you do that?
Yes, he was sitting right where you sat. No, he was on Zoom.
No.
He was on Zoom. He was in a Zoom.
I mean, look, you've had a lot of fantastic people on your podcast.
So have you on your podcast.
But that one was very cool to me.
Really? Why is it that you got a crush on Mark Paul?
No. Big crush on Kelly Kapowski.
Oh, yeah.
And Brad and I, when Brad Williams was doing About Last Night with me, we went to her house and had Tiffany Amber on. And that was a real treat. But Mark Paul, come on, man, didn't get cooler than that when you were growing up.
Really? You were a Saved by the Bell fan. You watched it.
Hey, man, the college years.
I mean, everybody did. I didn't watch the college years, though.
Well, then, yeah. If you didn't watch the college years and you didn't see Mike Golick be the RA for their dorm floor and you didn't see fucking the Hawaiian style movie with Mr. Carosi and Leah Remini, Scientology.
No. Did you, Ryan?
No.
All right, let's shift gears.
Just shift him. Hey, by the way, you grew up in Seattle.
Yeah.
Were you a only child?
No. It was my mom, sister, and dad and I. Then folks split. Then mom and sister and I. Then sister went away. My mom calls me one day and she goes, hey, can you have Kirk's mom? I was staying at my buddy's place. Drop you off. Your sister and her boyfriend took all your clothes and all your money and a bunch of my money and some of our shit and took the van and they're gone. And I was like, yeah, I'll get a ride. And so come back home and then they were just on their way to AZ and then ended up, she went to a girls' school right from Oregon where they ran out of gas and for about 3 years. And so it was just mom and I pretty much through high school.
Was that tough not having like a father figure around there? Because then you don't know any different, probably. But
you know what?
Then in retrospect, what do you think?
I've thought about this. I still have not done therapy. And
have you not done any therapy?
I went twice when they split. My mom made me go to a marriage counselor, and the guy was like, he had a little plastic hoop and
a basketball hoop.
Yeah, and I would always come in and shoot because I'm a big basketball guy, and I would shoot and for probably the whole hour, and then like sit down for the last 5 minutes, and he'd be like, "So, are you feeling any better?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "No, see you next week." And he just wouldn't push me. And then one day I remember went in and I shot and bounced off the rim. And he just fucking one arm grabbed the offensive rebound and goes, "We're going to talk today. No more shooting hoops until we talk." And I was like, "Oh?" Tim Allen style.
He was serious.
Yeah, and I sat down and I still barely opened up. And I was just like, who the fuck are you, man?
What
You know
kind of
I'm saying?
questions did he ask? How old are you as a kid?
He asked me like, this was probably, I was 9, so 91.
9 years old. What do you ask a 9-year-old
He asked me
kid?
questions like, who do you want your mom to bang next?
Without saying bang.
I'm joking. He would
Who
say,
would you like your mom to be with?
where did he touch you? No, he would go, what would he say? Like what, just very generic. I think the idea of talking to someone that I had no connection to, I'm like,
Right.
bro, there's already a lot to unpack here. And I think this is partly into why I'm a comedian and why I've probably not and dealt with it in pieces as I've gotten older. But I just go, it is what it is. Like, dad's moving on. I want mom to be happy. I really have no control over this. I'm going to kind of just like, it's easier just to push it down and press on than it is to like, I was like, I'm a kid. I had some awareness of like, I don't want to have to like go through all this. So let me just go, what is it? Going to dad's, I got 2 houses now? Is that kind of how it is?
You're like, how do I get through this?
Yeah.
Let's just get through it. I don't need
Glass
to talk
half
about it.
full.
Don't address it.
Dude, yes.
Don't address it.
Yes. So, and I don't think it's like hurt me. I definitely,
You say that with pause.
for sure.
With hesitance.
I definitely, looking back, go, I wouldn't want it any other way because my mom crushed it. Single mom, 4 jobs. Her and I became best friends and enemies because it was like, I'm in this formidable time. Is that the right word?
Sure.
Formidable?
That could be a good
Influential?
word.
Impressionable time.
Sure.
Is impressionable the
Don't
same as
ask me, dude.
formidable?
You're talking to me. I'm like general English and shit.
So it was a
Ask me
time
for
where,
words. I did take a word power course.
dude, COVID made you forget words.
Give me your best word, your biggest word. Throw it at me.
The word that just came to mind was conundrum. After that, bukkake. After that, supercalifragilistic. It's fuck. Even that I can't finish.
Put that one out. You don't have that one.
If you say it round enough, you always have to close it. What is it? How the song go? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious.
Atrocious.
If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound
Precocious.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Do you remember that, Ryan?
Cue the cartoon dance, and then fucking Dick Van Dyke comes in doing the step ball change.
Dick
and Dougie.
Van Dyke. I got a good Dick Van Dyke for you. Joke after the podcast. I'm surprised though that how old are you?
39.
39 years old, and
Yeah.
you have not ever. I'm not surprised. I don't want to tell everybody that I can't believe you're not in therapy.
Hey, have I been told to go? Yeah.
By who? Girlfriends, ex-girlfriends?
My 6th grade girlfriend. No, yeah. A lot of, my mom, and not even for, I think there's been times when I've probably gotten angry about stuff that it wasn't about. And then people like my mom or whatever go, it's not about that. It's about that. So go deal with that. And again, it's just like, I know a lot of comedians that do it. Are you also a member of the therapeutic tribe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And swear by it, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. So is Ryan. Ryan started not that long ago.
Well,
for
we
the
know
first
Ryan's
time.
in therapy.
And
I came
Ryan-
in and this guy looked like he was getting ready to lay down again.
He's ready to lay down. He thought you were a therapist. He's
Yeah,
gonna
he
lie
thought
down
I
on
was
the
a
couch.
therapist.
Ryan, but it's working, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it comes out my eyes. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
No,
It
you're
helps.
soft.
It helps.
You're a sweet kid, and I get gentle therapy, like it worked for me vibes from you, Rye.
Are women always trying to fix you, or vice versa?
No, I became so it was just mom and I growing up, and then sister came back, and I was the peer mediator at like 8. Before my sister actually bounced, when I was in middle school, I was peer mediator. So it was like at 8 and 9, like mom and sister would be just and I would like go in separately and calm them down and then bring them together like crazy. So always a fixer, people pleaser, just wanting things to
Me
be cool.
too.
Again,
Me
just
too.
wanting to make it
Me
okay.
too.
That's why I didn't love the school, whatever, but all the aspects of school and being social and being involved in plays and sports and so much, because that was a distraction, man. Once I got home, it was like, oh man, that was this heavy cloud of like just what's happening. And my mom being sad and sister being, just a little wild and taking my mom down, and then dad fucking up shit and them just trying to figure it out. So school was like, man, I don't have to think about any of that right now.
So you liked school?
I mean, I liked going to, and then once I started to become a funny kid.
When was that? When was
Probably
funny?
6th grade.
6th grade.
So I was a fat kid getting teased a lot.
Fat? You were
by
overweight.
buddies. Yeah, man.
Like when you say fat, you mean fat or you mean just a little overweight?
So take Lizzo and add 12 pounds.
Who's Lizzo?
Come on.
Who's Lizzo?
Come on. Really?
Yeah.
The music artist.
I don't know it. I'm stuck in the 70s and 80s.
It's fine.
Lizzo, huh?
Well,
guys, sorry about this.
No, it's fine.
Not you. I'm sorry to my audience
look,
for not knowing Lizzo.
Nobody should be surprised that a guy with an Indiana Jones statue doesn't know who Lizzo is.
Thank you.
You're also fine, by the way. There's so many artists I don't know.
Yeah.
She just is. She had a moment enough to where you go, all right, I can't ignore understanding who this person is for a little bit.
Okay.
And just
but you like her.
A big presence.
You like her music.
Not even that. Just using the example of someone who's a little larger than life.
She was a little larger than life. I don't know, but she's okay. So you were heavy.
She's probably pushing 2.5 bills.
Okay.
I said add 12 pounds to that. That was a joke.
So that's you. That you were a big kid.
Big kid. To where like when I went on a diet at the 6th grade party and they had all these snacks around, teachers would go, man. Ray, you're reaching for vegetables, but there's pizza right there. Just fucking no shame. Teachers being like, hey, you fat fuck. Why are you going for the veggies? We know you want to just motorboat that pepperoni.
Terrible.
And I was like, yeah, just pizza doesn't sound good. Just trying to make a joke.
Let me ask you though. Yeah. Let me ask you. Did you think that the weight issue happened when your dad left?
Yikes, dude. Probably.
Okay, I'm just throwing that at you. These are things you learn in therapy.
Yeah, of course. But also, I know that, and that's not worth going to break that. Like, I know that I was bumming, and that's probably why I started doing that. Comfort food, all that bullshit. And then I just had enough, and I was like, and my grandpa would even say, you can't wear sweatpants at your bar mitzvah.
Sounds like me.
Which was like such a great passive way of being like, hey, chunky legs. You fucking got chicken breasts for tits and chicken thighs for legs. And I was like, all right, man. And so
people really harassed you though. They laid it in.
I used to do a joke about that. It's like, I didn't know I was a fat kid until I got signs from people. Like I was such a happy-go-lucky kid. So until like a dad was like, hey, you got time for a titty fuck after you finish that Pop-Tart? Like that would be the way that would joke. That would be the way that I go, oh man, maybe I should make a change because and most of my friends wouldn't say anything or care because they didn't. But then some kids are cruel and they use it to get at you. And so finally started losing weight and just dropped it like that because I was so active.
How old?
6th grade to 7th grade, probably lost 40 to 50 pounds. And which was all I needed, which was
changed your life.
Oh yeah. But again, when I was the fat kid, I started making people laugh and I was the funny kid now. So that's why I started chasing that. It came easy. I was doing impressions of friends and teachers. We'd prank call this girl that we all had a crush on as a guy friend of ours that she had a crush on. I'd pretend to be
him.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'd pretend to be her to him. So I'd do the girl voice and call him as her. Just, diabolical. But just like all sorts of that type of shit where I was like, oh, look how good I'm making people feel versus how awful I was being made feel. It was just so, hey man, didn't need therapy to figure that out. I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to keep doing that because it feels good. And it feels good for me. And I'm making people happy.
Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. How well would you take care of your car if you had to keep the same one your entire life? That's how our brains work. So why don't we treat them that way? How we care for our minds affects how we experience life. So it's important to invest time and care into keeping them healthy. There are plenty of ways to support a healthy brain, learning a new language or taking power naps. There's also BetterHelp online therapy. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat-only therapy sessions. So you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions. It's more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and financial aid is available. You can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/inside. That's betterhelp.com/inside. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/inside. Inside of You is brought to you by Freedom Grooming. Where was Freedom Grooming when I needed them when I was on Smallville? Bald. People nicking my head with razors. And to all my bald friends, we found something for you. It's Freedom Grooming. At Freedom Grooming, we make the Flex Series electric shaver, which is uniquely designed to flex and contour to the curve of your head for a smoother, faster, and safer shave without the risk of nicks, cuts, irritation, or ingrowns. Well, our grooming products work anywhere on the body. Our strongest demographic is with our bald community, and our advertising speaks to them. We are proudly supporting our hair-free customers and their journey to baldhood. You know, I have some bald friends. I have some friends that are going bald, and this is the perfect product for them. I gave one recently to my friend Joe, and Joe loves this product. Talk about easy to use, safe, and just feels like, you know, he gets the job done quickly without the nicks and the cuts and the irritation and the ingrowns. And also, guys, take a look at their custom reviews for Freedom Grooming. It's outstanding. This is a product that you want to have.
Get the smoothest shave of your life. Flexible blades contour to the shape of your head for a baby smooth shave every time.
Shave 50% more hair in a single stroke compared to traditional razors. Expect shave times of 2 to 3 minutes, not 10 to 15.
And never cut yourself shaving again. The Flex Series Safeguard technology means no nicks, no ingrown hairs, and no problems.
Also, we have over 10,000 5-star reviews. Since even the sharpest blades dull with use, Freedom created the Close Shave Plan. With the Close Shave Plan, you'll never run out of fresh, sharp blades delivered to your door every 6 weeks with free shipping.
All active Close Shave Plan members are upgraded to a lifetime warranty.
And it's completely customizable. Adjust, skip, or cancel your plan anytime. And to thank you for being such a loyal listener, we're partnering with Freedom to give you an exclusive 20% off when you go to freedomgrooming.com/inside. That's freedomgrooming.com/inside. When do you feel sad? How often do you get sad? Because look, I've seen like you have such a body of work. Like you've done, I mean, Pam and Tommy, Hacks, Young Rock, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Arrested Development, Ballers, Silicon Valley. I mean, Rick and Morty, Workaholics. The list goes on and on. You've done so much work. And I'm like, okay, he's got a stand-up comedy
tour.
I mean, like all these things going on with
Yeah.
you. And I always think, but what's going on behind? What happens when he gets home when he's alone? What happens? I think about that with a lot of people because I think about that with myself.
Great
I'm
question.
like making everybody laugh. I'm the center of attention. Oh, look at him. I'm having a party. I'm going to the beach. And then I get home and I go, why am I miserable?
Totally.
Are you that?
No, but I definitely have. I mean, all I know about being a Gemini is that you got 2 sides, right? So
The twins.
and I'm not too astrological aside from that, but I do have a not life of the party switch, but like the performing ability and to be able to hang and like last night went to see my buddy Dana Carvey and Spade do a live pod with Sandler, and then went to the Comedy Store and did a set.
Who was doing a live podcast?
Dana Carvey and Spade, and they had Sandler
They were on the stage.
Yeah,
and they
at
had
the
Sandler
Wiltern.
come on at the Wiltern.
It was for 2 hours. It was incredible, man. Just seeing these guys that are homies and legends just mix it up was like really cool. And Sandler, how often you get to see him out and about live for longer than a talk show appearance. It was very cool, man.
And talk about real shit.
Real shit. And it was just awesome. They were just, you can tell being buddies and having camaraderie really, really matters. And,
Right.
And then went and did a spot, and I was just like on cloud 9 the whole night, and with a couple buddies, my fiance, and we were just having a good time. And then yeah, like definitely you get home. There is that like drop in energy and adrenaline that you just kind of, but I
You address it. You're aware of it.
yeah, I also just do a good job, I think, and this is probably something I innately did when I was younger, which was try to make sure I'm so busy, like knowing that I had this to look forward to got me juiced for going to bed and getting up. So like, and when I
Really?
have things like that, I can't bum. Like I got,
But there's something to be said about that, though, because don't you have to learn how to be alone? Don't you have to learn how to not be busy? all
I
the
have
time?
learned how to be alone. I mean, I was alone until I met my fiance. I mean, that whole time from, probably 5, and also being a comic, you are always alone. I mean, it's like, and being single and it's such a solo adventure. In this business, you're alone.
Yeah.
And so I think the business, for better or for worse, has made me thicker skin, all the rejection and look, there's been times, yeah, for sure, that I've been very low from probably a mixture of like family stuff, which has just been a lot of, and then the business where you're just like, man, like I just need a W in one of these departments to like pick me out of it. And not to say that makes you stronger, but I mean, look, I definitely wish no kid to ever get teased for anything. Kids are cruel. That stuff really sticks.
You know what that's like.
Oh, yeah. And especially with the weight stuff. Like I even see one of my nieces now, she's actually in the past few months gone through a little bit of a growth spurt, but she was starting to get it. And man, that just ate at me and made me so sad to where I was like, I'm going to fly up there and beat the fuck out of a 9-year-old. And there's no stopping me. And the guy at the Delta desk is like, I advise against that.
You
and
got
I'm like,
that far.
I'm a
Delta
medallion
desk.
member. You know what that means?
I could do anything I want.
I can do anything. And so, and you have to back me up. And so, but then again, like the tease, like, again, I am who I am. The amount of empathy and compassion I have for people, how I'm such a people person, why I love doing crowd work on stage, why I talk to everybody. And I probably have more, I'm nice to everybody at the comedy clubs. And that probably comes from a place, if we're going to do some therapy,
Yeah, we
just
can.
not wanting anyone to feel bad because of the times when I go, that was awful. And having buddies even at that age, that's, I think, what put it over the edge is when you go, there's kids at school that might tease you, but then when you have buddies that like start to jump on the train and you're like, oh, I thought you were like not about that, but no one's immune to like fucking being cool or saying something to pick themselves up,
Or be
to
with the
dig you.
crowd,
Yeah.
be with the cool people.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm part of that.
And no judgment, but yeah, so that's, and my fiance's the same way. She, had a not great, family environment in some regards. And so she's so like, I just want to keep it 100 and positive as much as possible.
Really?
But same thing. Like we both, life gets you into a dark time but we just, we're good about like picking each other up and being like, yo, count the blessings versus what you don't have, which is what this business,
Absolutely.
you can probably attest to that as well, where you're like, when can you adjust your mind to like, to really think, what's going on? What have I stacked on in the last couple of years versus what have I not achieved?
Yeah.
And it's such an easier said than done way of thinking, but
being insatiable is not always good.
yeah.
It's not good at all. I think
Yeah.
if you're always expecting like, I need more, I gotta have more, and you realize, but that's not making you happy. And it hasn't made you happy. Success hasn't made me happy. It's been a temporary happy. It's more, I always say it's like the colander, it's like, it just goes right through. Like, water goes right through the colander.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just ephemeral. It lasts minutes.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, I'm great. I'm really great. Okay, wait, when can I be great again? I've got to prove myself again. I've got to do this again.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what am I chasing? And I for me, I think that it's like, hey, love, memories, relationships, connections. Those are the most important things in the world. And so that's what, I'm working on that more. But like, it's, for somebody who, I didn't have it growing up when I was going through
The it factor.
well, I was, dysfunctional family, like many people. I've
Yeah.
talked about it, but like I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel like and so I looked for it elsewhere. And all of a sudden, I was the funny guy, and I was like, oh, I'll make everybody laugh.
Yeah.
And then my friends, their parents would be my surrogate parents.
Yeah.
I would make them laugh, and I'd stay weeks over their house.
Wow.
And then I was the funny guy, and I think at that point, as a small boy, I realized, you're going to be accepted if you're funny, if you're just being the funny guy, and don't be your boring, stupid, ignorant self. That's how I thought. And I went through that for years, up till through all my success. Like, make people laugh, be good, be on, you're great. And eventually you just go, wow, I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
And I don't know who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
And that just gets old. And I don't want to be 90 and go, what was I doing it for? Who was I doing this fucking shit for?
That's a good impression of you at 90, by the way.
I don't think I'll be alive at 90, but thank you.
I think you will.
You think so?
Yeah, and that voice sounds like a guy that takes care of himself. Because 90 should be a little bit more like that.
I don't know. My grandfather, he was 92 when he passed away, and he was like, Mike, you shouldn't fart all the time.
Great. Shouldn't fart?
Yeah, I always fart.
He doesn't like that you fart?
Well, he'd say, you're going to do that, and you're not going to know you did it.
Awesome.
But then I'll be like,
Great
you,
t-shirt
Grandpa.
with his face on it. You're going to do it and not know you did it. Farts.
What did I do?
Whoever smelt it dealt it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that, man, okay, well, you're preaching to the choir because, yeah, I think me with this full head of steam of like, let's just fucking push it down, worry about it later, make people happy, feel good. That's a better, easier, more fun path.
Yeah.
And then, but to my detriment, it probably, it's allowed me to not figure out who I am on and off stage quicker, right?
Right.
Because I was like, well, let's not be that guy that you are. Let's be. But also, again,
But you're
on the flip side, I feel like I am who I am because of all that shit, right?
Sure.
Because of like the being bullied and the folks thing and seeing my mom and dad's like just how tumultuous that was and wanting to be on top of that and just have a glass half full approach. I am who I am because of all that. So I can't. There's no part of me that really that would say, would I be this if they fucking figured it out and kept their marriage together and stayed in love?
right.
Probably not. You know?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
'Cause maybe I would've-
That's true. I became someone because of, through their relationship
Yeah.
and what was happening around me. You become your own person, but you're a product of your own environment.
Yes.
Right. So there is that dysfunction that you don't even know is there that's just lingering, waiting to get out here and there. And it gets out sometimes and you do things and you act out and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, that guy came from a fucked up place.
Totally. Yeah. And there's people in your life that hopefully like point that out and go, oh, you did that because of that. But you don't know that yet because you haven't gone it there.
Yeah, you'll learn that. But you know what? Also, I have to say, I wouldn't get so caught up in therapy and all these things. It's not like, everybody, I do believe that everybody should, see therapy at some,
Sure.
have therapy at some point.
Sure.
Just kind of evaluate, have someone objective talking to them. But too much of anything is probably not good for you.
Right.
You don't want to get, because what you're doing is working for you. Is it not?
I think so. I also just feel like I don't ever like to stew on stuff for too long. So the times I have gotten lowered down, I allow myself to feel that for sure, but not feel bad for myself. And I always, if I feel like I'm making a meal out of it, if I am going to therapy, if I'm doing something like that to really expand, I've gotten good at, and not just like suppressing, but like sitting back, feeling it, taking it in, and then knowing and allowing myself to feel that so much so that I'm like, I don't want to feel like this again. So what are you going to do differently that led you to this, right? Was it you let yourself stew on some jobs you didn't get or a job you did and you weren't pumped about or some things with some friends bullshit or some family stuff? Like what, be in more control of that so that we don't get to this spot again.
Right.
So I feel like I've always been good about just like breaking it down for myself and going like, why are you like this? And not feeling bad and being, able to pick myself out of it. And I take pride in that.
Well, I honestly think you're a great guy. You're one of those guys when I see it like Harlan's house or mutual friend Harlan Williams, or I see Adam, I'm like, you're just a.
You don't feel like I'm putting on a.
No, I always just seem like
yeah.
Adam's Adam. Adam's just a good guy. He wants to have a laugh. He wants to have a moment. He's not.
I feel like I'm always present.
He doesn't have ulterior motives. He's just trying to be in the moment.
Yeah, man. Have as many goofs and good times as possible.
Yeah,
and like that's what's cool about our business is like you can really surround yourself with people that like, oh yeah, that's all. Like I mean, as soon as I came in here, I was just like, fuck, dude, this rules. Your life fucking rules, man.
I see that. I think people see they'll come in and see my house. They'll see all the things I have, and they'll think, "You're happy. You've got all these things."
Well, no, that's not what I thought. I definitely was like, "Oh no, there's something going on here." But there's too many puppets.
Too many puppets. Too many.
And if anything, there's not enough puppets. By the way, no. It's a. I like that you take pride and an interest in celebrating the cool shit you've gotten to do. That's very cool because we don't do that enough in any facet of life. But I mean, come on, man! Like you built a very cool thing for yourself, and
knock
like
on wood,
you got like a bunch of cool baseballs up there. I'd love to like know all about. I mean, you've got some fucking. You just got a nice variety of stuff that's all because of what you did.
Yeah,
and
sometimes I should sit back and look at it and go, these are cool things. This is a good thing.
If you're not, you definitely should.
Yeah.
And I'm, again, preaching to the choir, but like, yeah, we're too much. This business there's no course to be like, every now and then fucking look in the rearview mirror and see where you came from.
Yeah,
it's just like, because
exactly.
it's conditioned us to be like, what's next? It's why they go up to people who've just won the Super Bowl and go, fucking, can you guys do it again? And you're like, hey, man, just did it. Let me fucking sit in that for a minute and go to Disney World or Panera,
You're
wherever.
100% right.
The
You're
Patriots
100%
are
right.
paying for.
You'll do all these things, and then somebody will make you feel like shit. My agent has a propensity for making me feel like shit inadvertently. He he will just go, dude, this is it. This is it. This is the part. I don't want to go somewhere for 8 months and in the middle of nowhere and do this.
Yeah.
And I feel guilty, and I'm like, I'm thinking about more about what he wants as opposed to what I want.
Sure.
And there comes a time in your life when you have to just go, I want to do what makes me happy, which fulfills me.
Yeah.
Because if you just keep doing what other people expect you to do, and you're Adam Ray, you're supposed to do this. This is what let's keep on this. And you're just, you do things because you love them.
Oh yeah.
You don't have, you say no.
Yeah. I've gotten better at it. Like if I want to go, stand-up's been great for that because it's like a friend's birthday thing or whatever that I like the people, but I'm like, I'd rather go do a show. And there's part of that that's like, I'd rather work. And not waste a day or an opportunity, but it's also all fun. Somebody just asked me the other day, cause I'm on, I was just in Madison, Wisconsin for a weekend, then drove to Milwaukee, on Thursday through Saturday was Madison, then drove to Milwaukee because they just opened an improv there. So I did a night there.
So you just rent a car and go from city to city.
I've never done that. Did it this time because my agent was like, do you want to, I can add on this after the weekend. It's close. And I was like, yeah, I want to do that new club. And then drove to Chicago after the show to fly out of Chicago. And that was really fun. And now coming up, I'm going to New York because my mom's going to be out there for a bit and I want to kick it with her. And I was supposed to go to North Carolina, but the show I'm shooting, dates moved. So North Carolina had to be canceled, but I'm going to go to New York to kick with mom because she's going to be out there with some homies. And my mom's just getting older. And I was like, let's go stay with a homie and hang with her in New York and just be around her. And then I'll go from there to Atlanta. And then I'm going to stay in Atlanta for a few days because some people from Young Rock are going to be down there. So I'm going to stay with them and then go from there to Kentucky. I'm going to rent a car and drive 5 hours to Kentucky.
Jesus. You have the energy to do all that?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like a lot, but that sounds awesome. And
nothing sounds awesome to me. I think that's the problem.
No, it sounds fun.
Nothing.
And I know
awesome.
I have buddies that are musicians that are like, you have so many opportunities to lay flat and you don't. And and I'm not judging you for that, but whoa. And I'm like, yeah, man. Because I also love it. And it's also being a comedian, you're conditioned. You have to live a life worth writing about. I also, though, I've never been to Kentucky. I'd love to drive into Kentucky. That sounds like a cool thing. With no kids, and a zest for it right now. I want to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And I used to always be like, fuck, I can't ever leave LA. I don't want to miss out on everything. So if I am in a space where I'm like, oh yeah, go do that. Then I want to do that. Shit, when I opened for my buddy Joey Mack and the New Kids on the Block and their concert cruise, that sounded bonkers, but I'm like, I'm gonna go on the cruise and open for them because I missed a couple opportunities because of it, but I was like, that fucking sounds like something I'll never do if I don't do it now.
Just to say you did it. You ever get nervous about no one showing up to your gigs? Do you ever think about that?
No.
Why?
Because all the places I'm playing are good places.
They're built-in places that bring in comedians.
Comedy on State, where I just did Madison, is a staple of.
So people are going to be there not even because of you. Regardless. They're going to be there.
Yes. Clubs are good at that, and the rooms I'm playing are rooms that just are on top of that. But now also and that's why I'm also doing so much of the road now because of the last few years being a nice little boost on a handful of fronts. So more people are coming out because of that. So I want.
What do you mean a handful of what?
A lot of people always come out from all my Adam Carolla appearances, from my pod growing, all the shows in the last few years.
Now my listeners will come
1,000%, man.
Go to this guy. He's a good
God
guy.
bless you, man. AdamRayComedy.com for tour dates. Where's my tour date?
adamray.com.
AdamRayComedy.com.
adamraycomedy.com. Yeah, make sure we know that.
Do you have a what's your demo of listeners? Do you know?
It's kind of split. It's kind of split right down the middle. It's like, I don't know. What is the demographic? It's like
rabbis,
26 to 45, 55.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's all in there. It's all in there.
Cool
it's a good mix. I have to look, or maybe that's my Instagram.
When you'll do a live show, who's coming out?
I want to do a live show. I've never done one.
Mike.
Because I fear that no one's going to be there.
Oh, man, not the case. Also, just stack it up with some homies, man.
Really?
Get Harlan, Joel, maybe me if you want to fucking,
So do my podcast on the road and have a couple of intros.
Oh, man. 1,000%. You're so good. Do it live. Oh, dude. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. What are you just nervous to do it or
I've
what?
thought about it. I had 2 bookings in Austin, Texas, and then the COVID happened. I had 2 full sold out places, but my guest was Zach Levi, and we were going to do it, and then it sold out. I mean, then it got COVID. Then COVID happened.
Had you sold tickets yet for it?
It sold out.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
But that was because of Zach Levi, not me.
But maybe a little bit of both.
See, that's how I think.
But
that's what's fucked up about me.
It is.
I go, it's because of Zach, not me. No one wants me. I have to have somebody
well, that's
there.
not true because
I know
you're not doing a first time show. You've established your pod. It's a part of the fun in people's lives.
But,
but you do need a big guest for the live stuff because you do want people because you don't want to run the risk of it being a small gathering. So that's the right move. But they're coming because they want to. Yeah, dude. No, it's both. Allow yourself to know that it's both.
I'm gonna do it. I think a live. We should do a live. Want to do a live one, Ryan?
Sure.
I think that would be a blast.
Bro, you don't even have to. I mean, dude,
we'll get Bryce to fly in. We'll do one. Maybe you'll have Welling as the guest here in California. We'll do
there's so many venues. You could even do it at the fucking main room of the Comedy Store and just go, all right, I got to get 350 people in there. Or hotel cafe. I mean, dude, there's so many spots, where you can go, all right, do I want to do like a 50 seat thing?
And then you just kind of prepare and you just shoot the shit and you do what I'm doing like this.
You do this. Obviously, you got people. So you're like, oh, maybe there's a little bit more showiness, but not really. Last night was Spade and Sandler. And yeah, they're
sold out, right?
Oh, yeah. And they're all, but also you had John Mulaney at the Forum and Chappelle at the Hollywood Bowl. So
did you hear he got attacked on stage?
Yeah, I saw that.
Crazy, huh? How do you feel about all that? Because do you think it has anything to do with that Will Smith Chris Rock thing? You do.
Oh yeah.
You think that people have that? They feel like they have the privilege now.
I don't think it's gonna. I saw somebody post on Facebook. Here we go, Chappelle attack. Like I'm like, all right, man. You're going too far with it. I think. I don't think it's gonna be as crazy as people think.
Right.
I think it definitely gave the same way that some of the outlandish things that Trump would get on TV and say gave a voice to people that think like that to go, oh, cool. I can just start walking into Burger Kings and being like, there aren't any Jews here, are there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's given people a reason to go like, oh yeah, if I don't like something, but I don't think it's going to be,
Yeah, I don't want to get all political and shit.
No.
I just was wondering how, you get kind of like.
It sucks. It definitely, but I've always felt that way. It's weird to just be up there, and like most comedy clubs and venues, like they got security, but like no one's really thinking. You're taking care of people that might be too sauced up or that are just a distraction and not in terms of like someone's going to rush the stage. And again, it does happen, but like I've rarely seen. I mean, there's a kid up in Seattle I know that got hit at an open mic with a guy. With a bat, and I mean, dude, he was like a half a centimeter away from like just that being a wrap, and he had all these skull and brain surgeries, and now he's living a great life and
not doing stand up anymore.
Still doing it, not as much, but yeah, but like just at an open mic, like a guy he wouldn't let on his show came back the following week because the guy was like awful and would always be drunk and was like just being rude to people, and so he said you can't come. So the guy came anyway and hit him with a bat
in his head.
Yeah. And that type of shit makes me go, oh yeah, there's nothing to stop. And
Crazy
this guy
people.
last night, like, how'd he get through? There's also
it's
so
a
much
risk.
going
You're
on.
putting yourself out. Do you ever feel like that? Because you're always like people are heckling you, and you're always free balling, just going out there and just rocking off the cuff, and you say shit. Do you ever worry about? Oh, this guy I just said that to. He looks a little pissed.
Maybe, and I'll comment on that during the show to the guy if I truly feel like it's. But then, like, that just happened in Irvine a few weeks ago, and then there was this big guy named Gustavo that I was having some fun with, and so then it became a thing of like, Gustavo's got my back if this guy tries to pull some shit. But then I always try to kill it with kindness and make sure that I'm not ever. And that's the thing about my crowd work that I don't like, that I learned from our boy Harlan was A, to listen, and B, to not be a dick about it, and like. The hit him and hug him thing, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, we all got to fuck with people. So get a little of that, but then like, bring it in and be like, I'm just fucking around,
Harlan is he is the king of random shit.
Oh yeah.
there's only one Harlan Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, sir, have you ever made love to a Dairy Queen Blizzard on a hot Saturday night? No. Well, You're not living, or
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just says these random things.
Ma'am, if you could look away, I'm doing a show, please.
Yeah.
Sir, I don't like your fucking eyes. Can you go to sleep?
I don't like your eyes. Did he ever say that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't like your eyes.
Dude,
Can
I
you go
opened
to
for him
sleep?
for about a year and a half, and I just saw him just do some like phenomenal shit, man. That was like next level. And it just made me go, oh, I want to do that. I want to get good. And he was just like, you got to listen. You got to trust to build a moment, gather some info, and then just about doing it, getting reps of like trusting yourself to think of the funny thing and then say it and then not, you know what I'm saying? Because when I would first start doing crowd work, I wouldn't listen. So I'd be, you know, talking like this and then like, oh, where you from? Or what, you know, how long have you guys been together? And then I'd be like, shit, 20 seconds went by and there were no laughs. I'm thinking that, not listening to what they're just saying. So then they stop talking and I'm like, yeah, you guys look like you're not going to make it. You know, you just say something to panic, to fill in the time. And then you're like, and everyone's like, all right, fuck, that was weird.
So you learn. Have you ever?
Gotta sit in the silence.
How long did you bomb? How many times have you bombed? I mean, how many times have you rose and bombed? Come on, in your life, how many?
Nice.
A lot.
Oh yeah, getting going. I mean, look, I did plays, you know, all through high school and college, so I was always comfy on stage, and that's just the writing. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. Once you're getting up there, you go, you know, and the sets are 6, 7, 8 minutes. You're like, I can get laughs throughout this, but yeah, am I going to crush for 8 minutes? No, that takes a minute to be fucking great. But then I went and did this random comedy festival in Calgary somehow, like when I was 3 years in. And I remember having like a string of good shows and I was like, all right, fuck, here we go. And then getting a little too ahead of myself and then coming back to LA and being like, oh no, that was just out there. And like, for whatever reason, like that was.
Then translate.
Yeah. And, but that you get better. I always say too, it's like, you know, you always want to get off stage with a positive and a negative. I immediately try to not beat myself up over it, which I, you know, do a lot. But so I drove, all right, what was great here? That was cool. And then what's something to work on? Not even like good and bad, but what's something to work on? What could my fiance always gives me shit about that because I'll literally get home and go, oh man, I should have said that in that moment and set for that joke. Or when this crowd work thing happened, I was like, what? Should have said that when he said that.
And she's like, the moment's over. It's done.
Yeah.
You did it.
She's like,
great.
stop doing that. I go, no. I'm not upset or beating myself up. This is how I also like get like
process
reviewing the game tape. You know what I'm saying? But it's I see it because I record my sets and sometimes I listen and sometimes I don't. But if I can immediately just, you know, I have a weird way to, if I'm saying that, like, oh, I could have said that. Okay, cool. I can like somehow pocket that for the next time. And not even to say that exact thing the next time. It's just muscle memory too of like getting my brain to go. Because I like that when I do a full hour and change show, it's like I plant seeds. I used to see Patrice O'Neill do this when I saw him live, where he would do his brilliant act and then he would plant these seeds of crowd work and then tie them all together by the end of the show. And that's what I have started doing in the last few years. And it's awesome. And it's really fun. And yeah.
How did you get into like doing impressions? Like, you know, you're on Jay Leno, on Pam and Tommy,
right?
You know, then you're doing Dr. Phil. You're doing all these
playing Vince McMahon on Young Rock.
Vince McMahon on Young Rock. I mean, were these something as a young kid you were doing impressions?
Oh yeah.
Like what were your top impressions?
As a kid, well, I remember I went to this like Jesus Christ water sports camp with my spit take. I was the only Jew there, which the guy tried to convert me to. It was my buddies from high school. They were in a church group, and they took a summer. It was a camp for like 10 days. It was water sports camp. So from 7 a.m. to like 4 was like on the beach, jet skiing, fucking
brilliant,
boobs and brilliant, and just and boats and just basketball, just fun in the sun, water sports, and then come back, dinner, and then we all break off into groups. And I'd always be like, "Yeah, call us, go back to the tent." And the guy was like, "No, come hang with the group," you know. And so then I'd sit in the group, and then he'd take me off to the side a few times. Go, so are you tied to Judaism? And I go, yeah, I got a bar mitzvah, you know, so I'm pretty dialed in at this point.
But I did too, but I just did it for the money.
Yeah. Did you really?
I mean, I didn't. I you know, no. I mean,
I
was bar mitzvah, but I'm not religious at all.
I
don't, you know.
I mean, yeah, I'm very reformed.
But go ahead.
And so I'm like, yeah, man, it is what it is. I think it's, you know, I'm just here for the good times.
I'm circumcised, man. I'm not going anywhere.
dude, I had to show it to him to prove it. And then I was like, well, let me go to I'll sit down and like participate. Did that. Then they had a talent show. This is what I'm building to. So they had a talent show, and I came up with this idea for my buddies where I would do all these voices, and they would like lip sync all these things. So I basically wrote our whole sketch, and it was me doing the voice I did at that time. Were ready. I did a Bill Clinton. I did a Kermit the Frog. I did a Mike Tyson. I did a Schwarzenegger and Cosby and Splinter from Ninja Turtles.
Wow.
By the way, put all those guys in a fucking reality show house and see who comes out on top.
That's amazing.
So it'd be like Splinter would be like, doing something, and then Kermit the Frog, and then Bill Clinton, and then Mike Tyson, and then Bill Cosby will come through with, hey, Kermit, go to sleep, and then
so
and then
people loved it.
Ate it up. They were like, this Jew's got it.
That's what probably triggered you. Like, I got to do stand up. I got to do stuff like that.
But again, it was all for shits and giggles. But it was but it was a fun thing they all looked at me being like, hey, funny friend, like, what should we do for the skit? And I just was like, hell yeah. I was like,
wow. And
so I wrote a whole thing, and we, everybody had a script, and then, so that was cool. But then doing impressions of teachers and friends at school, and then,
like, did you audition for Jay Leno for?
Yeah. So my agent hit me up and said, do you have a Jay Leno? And I was like, I'd done a couple of videos as him.
Did you have to audition?
Yeah.
So did you get dressed up?
No, but I sent a video that I had where a friend did like a pretty decent chin and makeup, so they could see a little bit of that.
Because I saw the one that recently you posted with it's you talking to David Letterman.
Oh yeah,
it looks like both of you. You're Leno and he's Letterman.
Oh, bro, that's incredible.
That's incredible. If you go on his Instagram, what's your Instagram?
Adamray Comedy.
Right.
But Jeff Richards, who was on SNL and Mad TV, does an amazing Letterman and a slew of other incredible impressions. And he does this now thing for his podcast where he has people come on and he does an impression and then they do one. Or he interviews, like he interviewed Bill Burr as Louis Anderson. But he does the deep fake, like when they recorded it on some program and the guy spends time to really do it. I didn't realize how good it was going to look. Yeah, it looks fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it looks like it's Leno and Letterman. And so, yeah, that was cool.
How are you directed as someone who's doing an impression of, you're playing Jay Leno?
Yeah.
I mean, what does the director say to you? Could you give a little, or did you just let him do your thing?
They definitely did like say, I think they had me tone down some of the lispy stuff, right? Not as much lisp,
Right.
And which he does have in pockets. Like I ran into him at Flappers. We were on a show together about 2-3 weeks ago.
I've done Flappers.
Come on,
before.
man.
We've
Yeah.
all done
Great
Flappers.
food.
Oh, yeah.
And my mom goes, you got to tell him that you play him. I was like, he doesn't give a shit. And I'm walking down the back of the kitchen to the green room. And he just turns and he looks at me and goes, oh, it's the guy who played me on TV. And I was like, oh, you watch it? I go, I'll quit, move back to Seattle if you hate it. He goes, no, I heard it was good. I haven't watched it myself, but I heard it was good. I heard it was grounded. I heard it was a big cartoony. I heard it was good. It's fine.
It's really good. It's so good.
And so then I was like, all right, cool. And then, but then, yeah, he goes, I thought the chin was a little too big. I thought the chin was, and then he started just laughing. And I was like, I thought it was actually could have been bigger. And
I want you to teach me how to do that. Yeah. You teach me how to. The chin was too big. It's the kind of a lisp like
that's
that.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. You can teach me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
You have a good ear.
Yeah. I think that's, yeah. And I don't even consider myself an impressionist, but more of, I guess, I feel like I've always been able to do voices, but maybe a mimic. Yeah, just having a good ear. Because there's some where I know certain impressionists that are on SNL that are like, man, I listen, I study, I work on ones too. I find one, I go, I want to get good at that. For me, it's like, if I try it and it's in the wheelhouse, then I can do it. Yeah, like I did ADR for Robert Downey Jr. for a couple movies. And I just go, when it came through, I was like, I've never tried to do that. And I tried and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I can kind of do like a decent one,
How does he talk?
So we're sitting here on, RDJ here. So Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, there's obviously more movies I've done, Heart and Souls. Chocolate I auditioned for, but Johnny Depp got it. But, Karma, she shit in his bed. Well, we don't know. It tastes like human shit. I didn't eat it, but I heard he did. So anyway, we're here on Inside of You or Inside with You. Are we inside of, we're inside together, the house that Rosenbaum built. It's a very nice house. There's a lot of puppets, not enough puppets, some would say, but.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But
I love it.
Yeah.
Do you just torment your fiance with these impressions?
No.
Do you not do your sketch, your
Always
stand-up
trying to be
special?
goofy.
Do you ever try to you never run lines with her?
I've probably said, I think I've probably said like, it's usually after a show if I'm on the road and she's not with me, and I'll tell her a certain moment that happened, and she thinks it's funny, or she hears me editing clips or something, and she'll laugh. But she's also a great supporter of. She loves it. I mean, she's now in voiceover, animation, casting, and when she moved out here, she was just working the restaurant game and crushing that, and then started to just get more and more around the business, and then she got into script supervising. And she was being scripty on sets, and then she started working in production and loved that. And then now she's doing this. But she comes to show. I mean, it came last night and to the show, and then she no, sorry, and then she just loves it. She loves being around it, and she also knows my show's always different. And she, will even she's really funny herself. So she'll say, she'll not tell me tags, but she'll think of funny stuff and add on to it,
I see these
But
videos.
not like Gaffigan's wife who writes his shit.
Yeah.
That's another level.
That's another level.
Yeah.
But I noticed on your Instagram, it's like you're friends with The Rock, you're friends with Dana Carvey. And I'm like, what? I'm like, how many people have go, hey, could you get Dana Carvey on my podcast?
Oh, yeah,
hey,
a lot.
A lot of people, right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, yeah. I think I did.
Did you really?
Probably. Why wouldn't I want David Carvey? I'm like, David Carney.
Yikes. Well,
Why wouldn't I want David Carney? I'm like,
well, if I'm being perfectly honest, David Carney would do it.
he would?
And he would actually help you get Dana probably better than I could.
David Carney.
David Carney. That was amazing. That was just you being nervous, though, for the idea of him even
David
being
Carney
on.
would be. I would be nervous. I would be a little nervous.
Who is David Carney? Who?
I don't know. David Carney.
Let's fill out his backstory. People think he's tied to the Carney hot dog.
He's a former English teacher.
Okay.
Out of Hoboken.
He hates turn-ons include.
Not telling any Nathan's hot dog stories.
Yep.
Or jokes. Carney.
Yep.
It's Carney.
Carney, yeah.
David Carney.
Turn-offs include people that don't know how to use your versus your or you are.
Ooh. Do you ever mess that up by accident and feel stupid?
Oh, I did it on a post the other day, and some girl hit me up and goes, hate to be this person, but it's this. And I was like, you know what? I actually take pride in yes, so fuck, thank you. But also, okay.
I've done it with typing really fast, and all of a sudden you're like, ugh, your is apostrophe.
Gotta do
R.
it. It
and then
says
I go,
a lot.
It's your apostrophe RE.
By
Sorry,
the way,
I'm an idiot.
I judge when someone sends it through. If they don't know it right,
But I just type fast. I don't even think about things.
Well,
maybe I should think about
clean
things.
it up before David Carney comes on.
How did you become? I mean, you're such a likable guy. I mean, and you're funny. But like The Rock,
Yeah.
you're friends with him.
Yeah.
You're friends with the fucking Rock. How did your friendship with The Rock happen?
So during COVID, I was like, once things shut down, I was like, oh, we're not going anywhere for a minute. I'm talking to a handful of comics that are like very bummed, as I was. We're like, oh man. And there's some talk of like, is stand-up even going to come back? I mean, truly, there was no sign of even the business coming back. It was like, is that the end of TV and movies? All these people were trying to do these like Zoom shows, some stand-up shows, but then like Zoom TV shows where it was just, and I was like, fuck. I mean, it was such a high level of uncertainty. And I was like, well, I got to control what I can control, which is trying to, for myself and my own sanity, trying to create and put up more content, do dumb little videos. I had a friend made me these like little braces. I would do these little characters, and then I did some puppet stuff, made some songs, and then I was like, I'm just going to try to be thinking more in terms of like just putting up funny stuff. So I see a post, a headline that Gwyneth Paltrow was selling candles that smell like her vagina, right? Through her company called Goop, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Bri, you with me on that one?
Yeah. And so they sold out in like 10 minutes, like these candles that smell like her vagina. And I was like, whoa. And then I was like, well, who's the male equivalent to that? And who would like sell like ball scented candles? So I was like, oh, as I posted the thing, and then I just was like, and I never tagged the people, but I tagged The Rock, and I was like, hey, your move, man. Like, fucking, if they're gonna sell those, like, equality, like you got to sell the bulk. Get on that. Hit up Yankee Doodle Candle Company, whatever. And then I start just as a joke, and it was really just the whole post also just being like, wow, like look, like how funny the world we live in where she made those and they sold out and people want them. It just, that was to me, the bulk of it was like, this is crazy. Like life is crazy.
And he responded.
And so I started
you.
getting all these messages being like, how do you know The Rock? And I was like, oh, everybody knows The Rock. And then I look at the post and he had commented on it like, brother, I've been trying to get, ball sending candles going, but I keep burning my dick on the wax or something like, and then something else. And then he just made a joke, and then he followed me, and then we just started keeping in touch. And then And then he sent me a couple voice notes saying he'd been following my stuff and keep at it. We'll have some Terramana when things resume and life gets back to normal. And then I got the audition for Vince McMahon and I was like, I don't know if this came from you, but thanks, man. Show looks dope. Very cool that you're doing this on your story and how things came to be. And then I went out with a buddy of mine to Chappelle's summer camp in Ohio, where he lives in Yellow Springs, and I had been at that point been joking about. I went on like Spade Show and a few other podcasts, and I had this running bit of like The Rock's ghosting me because I left him my number in the Instagram thing, and then I just hadn't heard from him for like 5 months. So I was just like, yeah, The Rock's like, we had this friendship, and now he's throwing it all away, and just whatever. It was a fun thing to joke about. And then I just get a text that says, hey, it's DJ The Rock, in parentheses. Let me know when you get on the phone. And I had been joking about this, so I thought one of my buddies was fucking with me.
Wait, he wants you to call him?
Yeah.
Were you nervous?
Yeah, but I also didn't think it was him because I was just like, again, I've been joking about this. So a buddy of mine is texting me from a number that's I don't know, saying, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So then I get a voicemail from him the next day, and then I call him, and he goes, give me your best Vince McMahon impression. And I did. And I was taking a poo at the time, and I don't know why that was relevant, but it just adds to the...
That's where you were.
That's where I was, trying to paint the picture. And then got it, and then we
he
talked for like...
That's really funny. That's good. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, and then we just chatted for like 2 hours about everything, about sports, about comedy, about single mom life, about family stuff, about sports, about wrestling, crowd work, and how he, loves these clips I post because he's like, that was my favorite part of doing it in the ring was like breaking the fourth wall and going off script. He's like, not everybody could do it, and I love to do it. And we started really diving in on that aspect of performing. And it was like, we've been friends for 30 years. And I was like, man, I should have recorded that whole conversation, put it out as a podcast. And then I even asked him at one point, I go, why haven't you done, I was like, you got to do stand-up. We got to do like a Young Rock, tour. And he was like, I could just come out. And he's like, but he's like, everyone's got to write jokes for me. They're just like the worst. I want to come out and just bomb. I was like, well, yeah, because if you bomb, you can just pull the shirt down a little, show a little nip. Everyone will go crazy. And you always have a way to save the joke.
Sure.
And then he's like, and he's just got a comic's brain too. He's real quick, filthy, but like articulate and has like a real respect for the craft, but like a real connection to it, which is why he loves performing, because he's like the wrestling, which I didn't realize. I watched a decent amount of wrestling growing up, but now have obviously gone back to really, insert myself in that world. And man, like the showmanship level at a certain time was like bonkers. I didn't really appreciate as a kid, like how much to create these characters, but then like the commitment level is like pretty high. But anyway, so then we just, he's just been cool, man. And,
I love that.
And
what a great story, man.
we don't talk, every week.
But still,
but
it's cool. He acknowledged you. He likes you. He thinks you have mutual respect.
He sent me a
for each
video
other.
just last night of him just taking a video of one of the episodes coming up. There's a big scene where Vince is basically telling the guy Uli, who plays the oldest Rock, that he's about changing his name and about going to Madison Square Garden and doing WrestleMania for the first time.
And he
just
sent you the clip.
He sent me a clip of that and then just said like, great job, brother, and blah, blah, blah. And so it's like he'll, that's cool. And knowing that I feel like I
What a
did
guy. I like him so much more now. I'm going to follow him.
That was amazing.
This is called Shit Talking with Adam Ray. These are my patrons who I love dearly, who keep the show running. Go to patreon.com/inside of you. I'll write you a message after. I love you. Thanks for supporting the show. Rapid fire. You're going to answer these questions. Here we go. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Leanne, really love the show Young Rock. What was it like working with The Rock himself? Is he as kind as he seems to be? You just kind of talked about it.
Just kind of broke it down, but got to go visit him on the set of Black Adam in Atlanta, and I just reposted this video. He did a little fun video with me where I was talking to his cardboard cutout. And
I just saw that. Look on your Instagram.
Yeah. But sweet heart of a guy, and like what I think is cool is when people say like, hey, let me know if you got any questions or whatever to talk about, Vince or the part of the show. Like every time I've said like, you got 5 minutes, he fucking makes time. And that's another thing where you go, you have no time because you're doing everything.
How does he do it?
I don't know.
I don't have any time and I have all the time.
Yeah. Don't know.
Michelle K. Sizzle. Ask him if he has ever had a joke stolen and how he handled it.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't that same guy who stole all those jokes.
Dax Shepard.
No.
Yeah, man, I'll say it.
Dax
Yeah.
stole your show?
And I'll say it because I love
Joe?
Dax. And he's a good guy.
I did too.
And I would love to rip it up on his pod at some point. And I would definitely bring this up because I feel like he's the type of guy that would vibe on it. So I used to do this Folgers coffee bit, right? It's a joke that a lot of my comrades I've come up with, like, attached to me in their knowledge of like when we started, because it was like I would open and close with it. I wouldn't, but I would always, whether it was a 5-minute set or a 10-minute set or a 20-minute set, I was doing it. Where it was this dumb joke where I would go, talking about the misleading slogans and advertising, and I go, so it's commercial for Folgers coffee, and the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup, and I go, is it? To me that slogan should be the best part of waking up is not dying in your sleep. And then I'll get a big laugh, and then I'll go, ugh, yeah. And then a couple other stupid lines after that. And I was at the Improv, and Dax was starting to maybe pop around like he was doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Like you see some of these guys do. Yeah. And
I was doing it too, yeah.
Yeah. And so we're like, oh, he's doing comedy. And then somebody said, oh, he's maybe just working out some stories for Conan that he's doing tomorrow. So I'm like, oh, even cooler. I get to fucking watch him do that, and then I'll watch Conan tomorrow and see what he works out. So I go on before him, do some stuff, had a pimp my ride joke that crushed. and then the Folgers bit, and I close with that, and I get off, and I walk by, and I was like, man, so nice to meet you. And he goes, dude, great job. He goes, that Folgers bit was so funny. I go, thanks, man. Cut to him watching Conan the next night, and out of nowhere, with no context, Dax does the Folgers bit. And I go, whoa.
Were you pissed?
Yeah. And then I also just was like, and my buddy was like, we were watching it, and he just goes, holy shit. And he goes, flattering, right? I go, I don't know what I feel right now, but also, because it was the first time I'd had that happen. And I was 2010. Yeah, maybe 3-4 years in. And I was like, well, clearly I'm not going to do anything about it because he's Dax. Like, what am I? And also, and my buddy's like, maybe he just didn't know. And we kept trying to find these ways to like massage it and make it better. But it was like, no. He saw me do it, probably was like, who's that guy? Exactly. Nobody knows. I'm doing the couch tomorrow. That's a funny thing. I want to say it.
Although, you think about that, I'm not defending anybody, but I'm just saying, you hear a funny joke and you're like, oh my God, that's such funny. And you want to tell everybody else that joke. You always go and tell that joke, but.
Great. Now, that version of the story works if he looks in the camera and goes, this comedian last night, Adam Ray, said that. Man, was it funny. And I just wanted to tell you guys here too. Right?
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
But when you pass it off as your own, then you go, oof. But
do you still use that joke?
No.
Oh.
But also, yeah. But I credit Dax Shepard now. But I
oh, God.
No, I also no hard feelings, no judgment, because you're just like, man, I don't know. He fucking just like, I got to get something on. I got to be funny. But at that time, I guess it was more really the idea of just like my first taste of like, oh man, write more personal shit. Write more jokes about playing Wolverine at Universal Studios and having a single mom and having a fucking white rapper brother-in-law named Dirte. Write more stuff that's like that people can't take. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's really what the lesson was. And again, just trying to have that glass half full thing. It was like, all right, that sucked, but what now? What? Adjust. That being said, I love you, Dax. You're hilarious, and your pod's great. And hey, man,
but fuck you. But fuck you. No. Raj, what's the worst heckler you've had to deal with at a show, and how did you handle them?
I had a woman throw a wine glass at me.
Whoa! Come on.
I was in Paso Robles.
She get kicked out, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Paso Robles wine country. They did not have comedy up there. My buddy used to live up there. He ran a little show upstairs at a brewery. They packed in about 300 people. I'm doing all these jokes about playing Wolverine at Universal Studios, and that was my life at the time. So I just had 20 minutes on theme park shit, and I'm looking down in between jokes, and she had said something earlier that was a little off color and just annoying and drunk and obnoxious. And I said, at one point she goes, "You just come give me a kiss." And I was like, "Should I let her give me a kiss?" And everyone was like, "Yeah." So I went over there, and she like licked the side of my face, and then I made some dumb joke about being like, "Oh man, I didn't know you could get HPV and herpes and fucking blah blah in one lick. How many licks does it take to get to the top of Cougar Mountain?" Or something I said, and then I walk back to the middle of the stage, and I'm looking down, thinking of the next joke, and laughs are dying down, and I'm just like, I just see my peripheral vision, just this, and then I just see that, like from this side, and so quickly that I didn't even have time to process it. I didn't have time to like, and it was just, I just went like that. The base of the wine glass hits my palm, and it's just sweaty enough and hot, whatever, to where like part of the glass like hit and stuck almost in the webbing of my hand, to where all I had to do was just wrap around the base of the glass. Kid you not, we'll call Brett Riley right now. He's confirmed it for me before on a podcast, where I catch it out of midair, and then I slowly turn to my hand and I go, ah! And everybody goes nuts. And I walked over and I set it down on our table and I said, I told you I'm Wolverine, bitch. Don't fuck with me. And people went nuts. And then they kicked her out. And then I got smoked out by this couple in the back of their fucking Subaru that had 2 doors, and they got into a big fight, and I just stayed in the back, and I tried to like slip out behind them because they got into a big fight, and I was like, can you guys let me out? Like, this is getting pretty heated, and I'm very high, and I don't want to be back here. And so like I pushed the girl's seat up and like slithered out, and then went back, and then the woman was outside the hotel where we were staying, and she like was so drunk and was yelling at me and was just like, you embarrassed me in front of my friends. And I was like, you threw a wine glass at me and I caught it, and then they kicked you out. And then I
good Lord.
And then I fell asleep in the shower fully clothed a couple times. And then I threw a Marie Callender's chicken pot pie at the window and broke it.
Jesus Christ, what a night.
Yeah.
By the way, do you even, weird question, but do you even talk to your dad?
Oh yeah.
You do?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, once I got to college and he started reaching out and I was like, I'd rather have a relationship with him than not.
So he supports you.
Oh yeah, full on, like all about it. Watches everything.
That's
and,
nice.
yeah, sends me thing. I rewatch this again on YouTube. Always. Yeah. And my sister's got a little different take on things, So, but I'm just like, I've been there for him in more ways than one. His wife passed during COVID, and so he's been by himself now. So I try to hit him up every day, if not a text, a FaceTime, just to.
You're always the one. You're always the one reaching out.
Totally.
You're always the one making everybody happy.
Totally.
You're still that one, Adam.
Totally.
But that's a good quality. I have that quality, I believe, and I.
You get taken advantage of.
It's exhausting.
It is.
But you feel like you're doing some good things.
What's the alternative to not do it and let him just like and go fucking? I mean, look. Yeah, there's times.
Let someone else do it.
My fiance has learned of some of the things of how like, poorly treated my mom was and how sad she was, and and for how much of a gangster my mom is, makes me and my fiance, when she brings it up, I'm like, yeah, that sucks. And she's like, how do you look at him and not, or just treat him as well as you do after all that? I'm like, because at this point, what's the fuck, 78? Like, am I really gonna hold on to that and like?
It'd probably be worse for you if you did hold on to it.
Yeah, and there was a time where he had his gnarly surgery about 1.5 years ago, and he was in the hospital, and things were a little complicated, and he wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. And I went up there again and for a couple of days in Oregon and stayed with him. And my mom FaceTimed me, and they don't really talk at all. It's all through like us, like, how are you doing? Say hi to this, or they see each other on Facebook. And so they FaceTimed for the first time in probably, 10 years. Jeez. And it was a crazy moment. Like, and then my dad like just broke down and said like, I'm sorry to her.
Wow.
It was crazy.
That would never happen with my family.
Really?
That's crazy. Yeah, that's awesome, but it never happened. We can get into my family another time.
Part
People
2.
know. This has been awesome, dude. I love having you on. It's like,
do we cover everything?
Oh my God. But you just have to come back on sometime,
Okay. A treat. Been wanting to come
was
on
a
for a long
blast,
time, man.
dude.
I
got to do. You have one?
Yes.
Tell everybody about your podcast.
About Last Night podcast. Find it on YouTube, iTunes. Pete Holmes' episode just dropped today. Sandra Bullock's been on. Bill Burr, Michael Rosenbaum, Jason Derulo,
I haven't
Neil
been
Patrick
on.
Harris. Yeah, you have.
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago though.
Yeah, it was
I need to be
a
on
year
again.
before COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to come
Over
back.
at the there's a studio that was
It was
high up.
where the hobbits are. Lord of the Rings. Those the guys play hobbits. My friends. Why don't I?
What?
Dom Monahan. It's up on floor 20 or something.
on Vine. And
Yeah.
Cooler studio now over on Melrose.
Really?
2 minutes from here. Yeah. Across
Who
from Big
books your
Taco.
guests?
Me.
Yeah, I book all my guests too.
Yeah,
it's
you gotta-
hard.
Oh, man, I had Chevy Chase on because his daughter.
I'd love to have Chevy Chase.
His daughter
God.
plays keyboard at the Comedy Store, and she's a comic, and she helped facilitate that. Sandra, I just get from me. Melissa.
Good Lord,
yeah.
son.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to have more conversations with Adam here. Help me out.
I can get you Dan Carney and my brother-in-law.
Could you get me
Dirte.
David Carney? David Carney.
Oh yeah, I said Dan Carney.
It's Dan
I think that's
Carney.
a real guy though.
Oh, Dan. Dude,
Who was your dream guest though? Has anyone ever asked you that?
Gary Oldman.
Wow.
Keanu Reeves, who I worked with.
Wow, you worked with Keanu on what?
Yeah, on a movie called Sweet November. And I played a transvestite, and he was always so wonderful to me. He was like, whoa, you look great. And I'm like, dude, thanks, man. He's like, I go, you want to give me a hug? He's like, not really. But I called him Keanu. I was like, hi, Keanu. Good morning.
So funny.
He was great. I'll show you some pictures.
Bro, that's a pod I would
love to. And I'm close on getting him. My friend Dan's really close friends with him.
Let's go.
And I'm like, Dan, just tell him we did a movie together. We were so cool.
It's not Dan Carney, is it?
It's not David. David Carney.
David Carney.
All right, I love you so much.
I love you too. Thanks for
Thank
having
you
me.
for allowing me to be inside of you today.
It was gentle and
It always is.
exactly what I expected.
Good. I like that. There you have it. Thank you, Adam, for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it. I'm going to just give myself a quick pick of the nose. And thanks for coming on the podcast. That was a lot of fun talking to him. Some guests, when I'm talking to them, time goes very slowly. And other guests, it goes fast because he had something to say. And I like when people talk. That makes my job a lot easier.
Yeah.
When they don't talk, I have to get things out of them. But we still got some stuff out of Adam Ray, so thank you. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for supporting. If you didn't know, go to the Inside of You online store to get cool merch, sunspin.com to check out when our album's coming out, and to buy merch and to Zoom with us. And follow us on all our handles at Inside of You Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, at Inside of You Pod on the Twitter. I guess that's really it. The Patreon. Of course, go to patreon.com/inside of you to support the podcast. We need you. We need you. And I want to thank Jason Nelkin for his awesome editing. Ryan Tejas, my co-host here, who's just the engineer / co-host / Guns N' Roses / and of course Bryce. Bryce couldn't do it without you, buddy. My producer Bryce really puts it all together and makes it easy for this guy to be able to handle all this stuff. You really help me out, and that's about what it is. Making life as easy as you can. Bryce makes things easier for me. You make things easier for me, Jason. It's like it's a team, man. I honestly, I don't know what I would do. I would just be like, all right, I guess I quit. I don't know what the hell to do. What am I supposed to do?
We got a good unit. We got a good. We figured it out.
You have a good unit.
I do have a good unit.
He looks into the camera. Oh man, now it's time for the patron shout outs. Give me the drum roll. Here we go. Nancy D, Leah S, Sarah V, Little Lisa, Yukiko, Jill E, Brian H, Nico P. By the way, thank you for sticking around. I know we have the new Talkville podcast, and a lot of people are joining Patreon, and it means the world to me that a lot of people are joining Patreon for Talkville and Inside of You. It's just miraculous, and I hope you don't leave Inside of You. And it means the world to me. And also make sure you listen to Talkville or watch Talkville. It's a really fun rewatch podcast. You could start, we're only on episode 11, so you guys can catch up easily, or just start out with the episode that's about to air. Here we go. Robert B, Jason W. Did I say Nico P? I think I did. Sophie M, Kristen K, Raj C, Joshua D, CJP, Jennifer N, Stacy L, Jamal F, Janelle B, Kimberly E, Mike E, Eldon Supremo, 99 more, Ramira, Santiago M, Chad W, Leanne P. Didn't we say Leanne P already? No, we didn't, but we'll say her again, even if we didn't. Janine R, Maya P, Maddie S, Belinda
N.
Nice, random.
Nice.
Chris H, Dave H, Sheila G, Brad D, Ray H, Tabitha T, Tom N, Liliana A, Talia M, Betsy D, Chad L, Marion, Meg K, Dan N, Big Stevie W, Angel M, Rhiannon
C.
Correct. Corey K, Dev Nixon, Michelle A, Jeremy C, Andy T, Gavinator, David
C.
David C, John B, Brandy D, Yavor, Camille S, The Chief, Joey M, Design OTG, Eugene and Leah, Nikki G, Corey, Katie B, Nicole, Patricia, Heather L, Jake B, Megan T, Mel S, Orlando C, Caroline D, Christine S, Sarah S, Eric H, Jennifer R, Shane R, Emma R, Jeremy V, Andrew M, Robert G, Zetoichi, 77. He told me once, and I just keep messing it up. Andreas N, Oracle, Chris R, Michael F, Karina N. Hi, Karina. Samantha. Michelle. That's Samantha W. Michelle D. Amanda R. Lovecraft.
Country.
Ezine. Lovecraft Ezine.
Cool.
Amanda S. and Jen B.
Great.
Those are the top tier patrons.
Those are the
Those are the folks that help the podcast.
Yeah.
What would you do without them?
Nothing.
Nothing. From the Hollywood Hills up in California and the hills of California, I'm Michael Rosenbaum.
I'm Ryan Taylor. I'm still here.
You're still here. Give a little wave to the
right.
camera. We love you. We couldn't do this without you. And of course, be good to yourself. Have a good week. We'll see you right here. Be good to yourself. We'll see you.